For somebody to tell me that this was the beginning of the rest of my life was really, really daunting.
Caroline Cray from Boston is living with allergies so severe that she is only able to safely eat 2 foods.
And for the first couple of years of my life, had no health issues. When I was 2.5 years old, I had a random anaphylactic allergic reaction to crackers with traces of nuts in them. I blew up like a balloon, my throat was closing, I could barely, breathe or speak. I had that allergic reaction, and then it triggered something in me where I had a lot of food intolerances. Peanuts, nuts, sesame, mustard, kiwi, seafood, but all of those things, were pretty easily managed.
She adjusted to those allergies and had a normal upbringing.
Things started slowly going downhill the summer between my senior year of high school and my freshman year at college. And that is because I was dating somebody who did not respect my allergies. So I remember very clearly the first time going out to dinner with him. I ordered food and then told the waiter my whole spiel. And I remember when the waiter walked away, my ex-boyfriend said, "Oh, I feel like you were being a little bit dramatic there. Like, is it really this severe, or do you need to be making this big of a deal of it?" I was 18 years old, and at the time I thought I loved him, and his words definitely kind of permeated my brain. I started to be more lenient about my allergies for the sake of not wanting him to think I was being dramatic.
This mistake caused an incident at a food truck event.
My ex-boyfriend thinks that I'm being dramatic about my allergies, so I don't want to make that impression on anybody else. So if I just go with the food truck, the ice cream truck that I know is safe, I'll be fine. I didn't mention my allergies, which was biggest mistake of my life. I didn't tell them that I was susceptible to, having a reaction from cross-contamination. And so they didn't know to use a new spoon. They took one bite of it, and I immediately felt what is anaphylaxis. And I remember I got this big sense of doom and head rush, and my vision tunneled, and my throat started constricting, and my mouth got super itchy. And I turned to my friend and I said, "Oh my God, I think I'm having an allergic reaction." I knew that could have been avoided. And at the end of the day, it was a decision I made, and then things spiraled from there.
Her reactions regularly continued.
It became clear that I had so many reactions in such a short span of time that my body had spiraled into a state of continued anaphylaxis, and I was reacting to all the food. But it should go away in a couple of months if I stay on this medication regimen. Spoiler alert, 7.5 years later, it did not go away in a couple months.
Caroline was officially diagnosed April of 2018.
She basically said that I have mast cell activation, which is a chronic immune condition in which the mast cells or the allergy cells are overreacting and perceiving things in the environment to be pathogens or allergens. My mom and I basically started crying as soon as we got the diagnosis. It felt like I was putting this huge burden that was on my shoulders and somebody was lifting it off of me. At the same time, though, it was extremely depressing because she said there is no cure for this, but there are things we can do to make it better. And this is a chronic condition.
After her diagnosis, she was limited in what she could consume.
And by the beginning of June of 2018, I could only eat oats. I was slowly but surely becoming malnourished.
A doctor suggested she try something unusual.
She kind of approached me and she said, "Okay, this is a weird idea, but let me know if you're open to it." And she said, "How about baby formula?" She told me that it contains all the vitamins, minerals, calories, all the nutrients you need to build a life and to sustain a body. And I said, yes, I would, because I'm open to anything at this point. I am at rock bottom. They mixed a little bit of the powder with water, mixed it up, and then I took a couple sips of it, and then we waited. And you'd think it was my God, it was you could hear a pin drop. It was just so much anticipation. And after a few minutes, I was like, I feel fine. And they were like, okay. I was able to leave the hospital with a prescription of baby formula. And that is what I have been eating now, oats and formula for 5.5 years.
I'm an easy one. I actually have a bunch of food allergies, so I brought my own food if that's okay.
Caroline is allergic to more than just food.
environmental allergens like pet dander, so dogs and cats and honestly anything with hair or fur, mold or dust or, anything like that. So I still live, in my childhood home with my parents because this place has been pet-free since it was built. It's really hard for me to go to friends' apartments, so I haven't gotten on a plane in 5.5 years. There are moments where I feel like the girl in the bubble.
And not gonna lie, seeing the spread of delicious food that my family made was probably the hardest part of the day, but we persevere.
Loved ones have adjusted to Caroline's needs.
It's definitely a big act of service for me to see people helping me out in that way.
As has her new boyfriend.
He has to avoid all of those allergens 24 hours prior. He cannot eat anything 3 hours prior to kissing me. And then he also has to brush his teeth beforehand as well. And he follows all those rules to a T ever since our first date, which is amazing. And he's super, super safe about all of it. And basically that just ensures that, I don't come into contact with any allergens.
There are times when Caroline gets food cravings.
Yes, I miss food like crazy, of course. It's usually crappy food. It's usually Oreos or ice cream or French fries, fried food. I just write it down, and cravings scientifically they go away within 7 minutes, so it's fine. That I'll be okay.
Here is what I eat in a day as the girl who can only eat 2 foods. Starting off with cromolyn sodium, which is what I take 20 minutes before I eat. And then usually I take my pills after I eat my breakfast, but I woke up so late because I filmed this on Sunday. For breakfast, I decided to go with oat waffles and hypoallergenic formula syrup. I made 3 waffles, count them, 1, 2, and 3.
On TikTok, she shares the various ways she eats.
Honestly, all the recipes came from posting on TikTok. I posted being this is my diet. Let me know if anybody else struggles with this because I'm going crazy. And then I just got a flood of comments. I was like, oh my God, why have I never thought of that? And all the recipes have come from my comment section, basically. And it's added so much to my quality of life. I really enjoy cooking now. And it's just something I look forward to. And it's, I can kind of replicate things.
We are making the ugliest ice cream sundae you will ever see.
Caroline is working with doctors to slowly incorporate more foods back into her diet.
The girl that can only eat 2 foods is on day 4 of the lamb trial.
I've been food trialing single ingredient, low histamine foods to help, normalize my diet. But it's proven to be a really long and difficult process. So you measure a little amount of the food. So I'd start with a piece that's half the size of my pinky fingernail, and I'd put that on my tongue for the first day. And then the next day I would chew that around and then spit it out. And then the next day I'd take that piece and I'd swallow it. And then the next day I'd double that size and then eat it, swallow it. And you basically keep doing that until you get 2 consecutive comparable pre-anaphylactic reactions.
Caroline is hopeful she will have some normalcy again one day.
I want to do more than just eating to live. And I know that I've gotten to a place in the past where I was able to incorporate more foods, and I'm really optimistic that I can get back to that place. It's just a matter of finding the right foods.
For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Andrea Swindall.